Good morning, televiewers of My Media Prime Television. You're on to your favorite bilingual program, The Brief, which is dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the newspapers. On today's edition of the program, we are focusing on the list of 18 richest people in Africa as per Forbes magazine, the list that was published yesterday by Forbes magazine, with Aliko Dangote topping the list with 13 plus billion US dollars as net worth. We shall equally tell you about the summons of the GMs of the Cameroon Development Corporation and PAMOL by the Special Criminal Tribunal in Yaoundé. As we told you, we shall give you updates on the summons that was served recently, and equally the quarterfinals of games at the AFCON tournament is equally a major headlines in the newspapers this morning. Bomotonguina Gwladys is here with us as usual. Let's find out what she gathered for us in the French newspapers. Bonjour Gwladys et bienvenue une fois de plus.
Merci beaucoup Lasha. Bonjour à toi, bonjour à vous et merci de rester fidèle à Débrief, votre émission de revue de presse bilingue sur My Media Prime Télévision. Alors ce matin, nous allons débuter avec le journal L'économie qui parle de l'insécurité alimentaire au Cameroun, cartographie des 12 départements fortement exposés. Ils ont été présentés à Yaoundé le mardi 25 janvier 2022 par le ministère de l'Agriculture et du Développement rural. Les détails sont donc en page 3 de ce journal. En page 8, le journal L'économie nous parle des recettes douanières en hausse au Cameroun en 2021. Nous continuons toujours avec le journal L'économie qui nous parle de la canne Total Énergie 2021. Le ministère des Transports en campagne contre les accidents de la route. Les détails sont donc en page 2 de ce journal. Nous continuons ce matin avec le journal Info à chaud qui parle de la victoire de l'Égypte face à la Côte d'Ivoire hier mercredi 26 janvier 2022. Les détails sont donc en page 3 de ce journal. En page 2, le journal Info à chaud parle d'un futur stade d'Abomban. Samuel Etofis, le président de la FECAFOOT, pose donc les jalons de la construction. Mesdames, Messieurs, c'est ici que nous nous arrêtons pour cette revue de presse en langue française. Place à la découverte de ces journaux en langue anglaise avec toi, Lasha.
Thank you, Bomotonguina. Gwladys, let's kickstart this morning with the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post newspaper, of course, the Lone English Daily, this morning is interested in the summons of the GMs of CDC and PAMOL by the Special Criminal Tribunal in Yaoundé. According to the paper, the GMs of the two giant agro-industrial corporations and their close collaborators were recently served as individual summons on the instructions of the Attorney General of the court, summoning them to appear before the Judicial Police Division of the Special Criminal Court in Yaoundé. The summons are signed by the head of Judicial Police Investigation Division at the Special Criminal Tribunal in Yaoundé. And we are told that the superintendent of police who signed the summons is W.O.K. Petit. And the summons were signed January 19, 2022, but only came to public notice of recent. And it indicates that the officials had previously appeared before the investigators for grilling on the same subject. According to the summons of the head of the division or investigation division, citing correspondence number 352/20/58/AP/PG/TCS of 6 May 2021 of the Attorney General of the Special Criminal Court, the GM of CDC is appearing before the special or the specialized police unit of the court February 17, 2022 at 10 a.m. as a suspect, and the current GM of palm oil plantations in Dian Division of the Southwest Region, Mbile Tapia, is also expected as per the summons to appear before the investigators of the court on Tuesday, February 15, 2022. Worth recalling is the fact that prior to his appointment at palm oil, Mbile Tapia served as Director of Technical Services at the CDC, and the summons specifies that he is appearing before the investigators for the second time. This shows that he had formally been invited for questioning before the investigation division of the Special Criminal Tribunal in Yaoundé, as we are told by the said newspaper. Based on the number of officials summoned by the court, it is suspected that the current palm oil GM is summoned to help in investigations as a former worker of the CDC. 5 CDC personnel, as we are told by the said newspaper, 1 former staff roped in for inquiry. The paper also stumbled on 6 other documents from the Special Criminal Court, which summons 5 other CDC workers as well as a former top staff of the said corporation. And top amongst names to appear before the tribunal is Forte Manjo Vincent, Director of Finance at the CDC. Manjo, as per the summon, is supposed to be before investigators of the tribunal Thursday, February 17, 2022 at 1 p.m. The gravity of the investigations, as we are told by the said newspaper, also ropes the former Director of Finance, Nkangu Lebon Dennis, who is also expected to appear before the investigators for the second time on Thursday, February 17, 2022. On same subject, as we are told by the said newspaper, Chungong Polycarp, Director of Production at the CDC, has been summoned before the investigators Monday, February 14, 2022 for the second time, just like his peer, Simo Kamga, personnel of Banana Engineering Service, who is also expected to appear same day at the said court. CDC's Director of Security, Peter Njume Fossa, and a security agent at Mafanja Plantation, Martin Chu Martin, are equally expected to appear before the investigators Tuesday, February 15, 2022 for a second round of grilling. Let's talk about CSPH, which hits a 177% profit in 2022. The paper tells us on page 2 that the Hydrocarbons Price Stabilization Fund, better known by its French abbreviation CSPH, has broken records as the first state-owned corporation to earn a profit of 177% in 1 year. The feat comes at a time where many others are either being threatened by liquidation or are still receiving huge financial support from government, according to a report made public this month by the Technical Committee for the Rehabilitation of Public and Para-Public Enterprises. As per its assessment of CSPH for the 2020 financial year, the corporation's record showed that it made a profit of 177% during the business year that ended December 31st, 2020. In actual financial terms, as we are told, this amounted to 15.1 billion francs CFA as compared to 4.5 billion CFA recorded during the 2019 financial year. According to the Technical Commission, as we are told by the said newspaper, CSPH, whose mission is to regulate the national hydrocarbons market in Cameroon, achieved that performance first because of competitive bidding process that helped select the lowest bidder for the supply of domestic gas across the national territory. By selecting the lowest bidder, the company, according to the paper, was able to reduce the support it provides for gas importation by 28.67% year on year in 2020. You can get more details about the profit made by the said state-owned institution only in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. Let's take you to page 5 to talk about the list of 18 richest people in Africa published by Forbes magazine yesterday. The Guardian Post tells us that there is no Cameroonian amongst the latest Forbes list of 18 richest Africans, with Nigeria's Aliko Dangote topping the list with a net worth of 13.9 billion US dollars. The 2022 ranking was released yesterday by Forbes magazine, and Cameroon's richest man, Amadou Baba Dampolo, didn't come anywhere close to the ranking. As we are told, Dangote, it should be said, invest more in the cement and sugar sectors in Africa. The Nigerian is followed by South African fashion and retail entrepreneur Jonan Rupert, who has a net worth of 11 billion US dollars. You can get more details about the list of 18 Africans who were classified yesterday by Forbes magazine, only in this edition of the Guardian Post newspaper. We end this morning with Cameroon Insider newspaper. Cameroon Insider is interested in the sad incident which occurred at the Olembe Sports Complex in Yaoundé, which led to the death of at least 18 persons. The paper writes, Paul Biamont's victims inquiry begins. After expressing his condolences to the bereaved and the quick recovery wishes to the wounded, things seems to have gone into high gear with regards to the president's prescriptions of an inquiry to establish the exact cause of the said incident in the wake of stadium incident on Monday and the nightclub fire. A day earlier, Prime Minister Chief Dr. Joseph Diongute yesterday presided at an interministerial meeting where a number of resolutions were taken to avert such ugly scenarios in the future. And on pages 6 and 7, the paper is focusing on the quarterfinals games between Cameroon and Gambia. According to the paper, a semi-final ticket will be at stake when the indomitable Lions of Cameroon take on the Scorpions of Gambia this Saturday at the Japoma Stadium in Douala. Still in the paper, all quarterfinalists now known. It's Cameroon versus Gambia and Equatorial Guinea versus Burkina Faso versus Tunisia, and Morocco versus Egypt, as we are told by Cameroon Insider newspaper. Thank you for watching, televiewers. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. And of course, our lines are having trouble. We're supposed to have Nick Santos, a peace crusader from the United States of America. But we are told by our technicians that Bane Elvis Jene has just joined us from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Good morning, Elvis, and welcome once again.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, and good morning to all of you back there in the studio. Good morning to all viewers of My Prime.
Yes, we begin with this very interesting headline that has to do with the profit made by a state-owned corporation, the very first time in so many years seeing a state-owned corporation, making so much profit after the move that they took in subsidizing or reducing subsidies to the importation of domestic gas in the country. We are talking about the Hydrocarbons Price Stabilization Fund in Yaoundé, Elvis.
Can you come again, Mr. Lasha?
Yeah, we are talking about.
Lines are still not very, very clear.
We are talking about the profits. We are talking about the profits made by the Hydrocarbons Corporation or Stabilization Fund in Yaoundé, as after they reduced subsidies given to, importation of domestic gas in the country. What do you have to say to that? The very first state-owned corporation to make that much money.
To be honest, Mr. Lasha, the lines are not the best. But I will attempt to say some with respect to what I think I have gathered. If the government has decided, I don't know if that's what the question we're asking, to, reduce subsidies for importation or something.
Yes, of gas, domestic gas.
Yes.
Yes, they have given the contract to the lowest bidder, reasons why the subsidies that are supposed to be given to the production of domestic cooking gas has been reduced, and the Hydrocarbons Stabilization Fund is making much money this time around.
But Mr. Lasha, I still don't know if I've gotten your question, but I think that if the government has decided to reduce its subsidies, I don't know if they have taken some measures to be able to step up home production. Because without stepping up the production and with the subsidies that are reducing, I'm afraid that we may soon see the price of home gas skyrocket. And we already know that cooking gas is already even expensive for the common or average Cameroonian to buy at about 6, 5, 7,000 francs a bottle. So I don't know if I got the question clear because the lines are not the best, but if that's the question, that I'm afraid that if government is reducing its subvention to the companies for importation and no measures are taken to improve on home production, I'm afraid that Cameroonians will have to pay the price. And that perhaps will not be quite surprising or shocking to someone like me, given that we already know since some years now that the policies that are put in place are those that at the end of the day, the common man is the one who pays the price. The common man is the one who shoulders all the financial cost of all what happens. So at the end of the day, the income in itself is embezzled by a few.
Okay, embezzled by a few. Let me take a portion of what the Technical Commission reviewed recently. I don't know if we can have the Guardian Post on our screen while I take the what the Commission said. Elvis, can you listen keenly so that you can have a better understanding of what the Guardian Post is telling us this morning? The paper said that the Technical Commission, CSPH, whose mission is to regulate the national hydrocarbons market, achieved that performance first because of the competitive bidding process that helped select the lowest bidder for the supply of domestic gas in Cameroon. By selecting the lowest bidder, the company was able to reduce the support it provides for gas imports by 28.67% year on in that was in 2020. Yes, Elvis.
Mr. Lasha, honestly, the lines are not the best. I am afraid I will not be able to answer your question.
Maybe you remove your earphones. I don't know, your earpiece. You can remove it. I think you'll be able to hear us. Okay, Gwladys, let's continue with the discussions while we await Elvis to come back. And the paper equally told us that some top officials of Cameroon Development Corporation and PAMOL are being awaited at the criminal tribunal in Yaoundé. They have to answer to questions of embezzlement.
Ça fait partie des promesses que le chef de l'État nous a données, où les personnes qui sont engagés dans toute forme de corruption, de détournement de fonds publics vont devoir répondre de leurs actes. Nous pensons juste à une seule chose, c'est que lorsqu'ils vont véritablement comparaître et qu'ils sont jugés coupables de ces actes de détournement, qu'ils payent réellement pour ce qu'ils ont fait pour leurs crimes, mais surtout et encore que cet argent soit retourné dans les caisses de l'État, parce qu'il s'agit ici de l'argent du contribuable camerounais.
But somebody steal and then you take the person and appoint the person. Is it not controversial? Because the current PAMOL general manager, or DG, was formerly, before his appointment, he was the technical director at the Cameroon Development Corporation, and today he is still a sitting GM, and he's been called up to come to Yaoundé and answer to charges of embezzlement-related issues.
À la fin, Lasha Kinsley, si au jour d'aujourd'hui, il y a une sentence qui a été donnée, parce que lorsqu'on parle de détournement, on parle de jugement, on parle de sentence. Si la sentence a été donnée qu'il avait véritablement détourné de l'argent et que par après, il a été nommé à un poste de responsabilité, on comprend qu'il y a un problème quelque part, il y a cripoco quelque part.
Is it not like some political witch hunting that maybe some people are after? Those at the CDC, as we all know what is happening, the land issue, the land saga, land grabbing in Fako division.
La vérité est simple, Lasha Kinsley, c'est que si effectivement ces personnes sont jugées et condamnées ou bien rendues coupables de détournement, ça voudrait dire simplement qu'ils ont détourné ces fonds. Même si l'intention de ceux qui les amènent devant ce tribunal, c'est peut-être pour pouvoir arracher ou bien ravir, je sais pas moi quoi, des terres ou bien des plantations. Je vais dire une chose, c'est que s'ils ont été jugés coupables,
ce n'est pas parce qu'ils sont en train de lutter contre l'arrachement de la terre du CDC, the land grabbing, CDC's land that is being taken away. We heard of the creation of Tiku Douala village.
Cette terre n'est pas la terre de CDC, c'est la terre des autochtones de cette localité. Et je ne pense pas, pour moi, à mon humble avis, je ne pense pas que une plantation devait être au milieu de la route pendant que les gens, les populations n'ont pas où habiter, ou bien les populations doivent aller habiter dans la brousse. Moi, je pense qu'au jour d'aujourd'hui, si on avait donné ces parcelles de terre à cette compagnie, à cette époque-là, au jour d'aujourd'hui, il faudrait revoir cette situation et la priorité reste toujours à celle des populations.
That's why many people are saying that why should the issues not be tackled directly? They have to dig into their black dossier or documents.
Mais si,
to try
la vérité,
to
c'est
get
que
hold of
Lasha
them.
Kinsley, la politique, c'est quelque chose, c'est un jeu de saleté. Si on vient vers toi et on te demande de faire des choses normalement et posément et tu refuses, ils sont obligés de prendre tes anciens dossiers pour mettre devant, afin de te mettre devant les faits accomplis et te foutre la pression. Ce n'est qu'un jeu politique. Mais à la fin, quelle est l'intention et quel est l'objectif? C'est que les populations bénéficient. Si à la fin, c'est les populations qui bénéficient,
There is equally the director of security, which is being alleged that he sold so much land, of CDC land. Reason why he's been called up to come and answer. Thank you very much, Gwladys, for coming. Thank you to televiewers of My Media Prime Television. Despite the difficulties in getting our guest today, we thank you for still staying with us to watch this other edition of the program, which was, of course, produced for us by Christain, Tebong. We were Bomotonguina, Gwladys, as myself, Lasha Kinsley. Tomorrow is another day. Bye-bye.